Hey guys, Kelan Motorsports here, and what if I told you there was once a mid-engine R35 that could rival the NSX in the 80s and 90s? This could have happened, but is only a drivable concept, or prototype, known as the Nissan Mid 4. The Nissan Mid 4. It was first created in 1985, and it was designed to battle European supercars during its time, from the Lamborghini Countach to the Ferrari Testarossa. But the problem was, it was way too expensive to build, and it ended up becoming the roots of the Nissan Skyline, Silvia, and 300ZX. The Nissan Mid 4 was an all-wheel drive mid-engine platform, and there were two generations of Mid 4. The first generation featured a 3-liter quad-cam 24-valve VG30DE engine, producing 223 horsepower and 198 pound-feet of torque, and featured a high-kiss steering system. And then 1988 came along, and Nissan finally decided to really put in some work in the Mid 4. Now known as the Mid 4 2, the car now made 326 horsepower and 283 pound-feet of torque, now known as the VG30DETT, the same engine in the 300ZX. The Mid 2 featured the same technology, but now with a more aerodynamic body and a much more powerful engine. The Mid 4 2 would end up being way too expensive to build, but would lay down the foundation for other great Nissans to build upon. The engine from the Mid 4, now known as the VG30DETT, would be put inside a 300ZX. The all-wheel drive system would evolve into the Tesla system, which would make Skyline very infamous for, and the high-kiss steering system would be implemented in the Skyline and Silvia. The Mid 4 was a really dope prototype slash concept car, but that was never made and would have made Nissan a even bigger power figure in my opinion, but it was way too expensive to make. The Nissan Mid 4 would have been Nissan's flagship car, and to get a good idea how this car would have performed, let's just take all the specs we know. It weighed less than the 300ZX but had the same engine, the VG30DETT, but it also had all-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive, what the 300ZX had. So this car would have gotten 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. Imagine what tuners today could have done with the Mid 4. Imagine the Japanese beast back in the day if the Mid 4 was added. It could have been the NSX versus the Mid 4, or it could have been the Mid 4 against the Supra, or even something even bigger. Maybe Toyota had to rival the Mid 4 later on and create their own mid-engine all-wheel drive car. But all we can do is wish what could have happened. But today we have something similar to the Mid 4, and it is from Nissan, and it is the R35. It's not mid-engine, but it is a V6, and it is all-wheel drive. So what the R35 is doing today could have been what the Mid 4 could have done back in the 80s and 90s. That's something you guys can think about. In my head, it's something very exciting to think about, but that's a gearhead thing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that behind the concept video. It's a different format compared to the RX 500 video. It's a little bit more enjoyable to watch in my opinion. This format, a much more enjoyable, much more exciting format. Hope you enjoyed that format, and don't know what else to say. Just have a nice day.